This is the NBC Television Network.
Week 12 and the spotlight falls upon Buffalo. Not since the days of Jack Kemp have the Bills won a league title. That was 1965. Today they host the Jets with Jim Kelly and company looking to wrap up the AFC East. It would be the earliest AFC clinching since the league went to a 16-game schedule. In Dallas, the Cowboys and Bengals do battle. Boomer Esiason is the top-rated quarterback in the AFC. His favorite target, Eddie Brown, fast becoming one of the league's premier deep threats. The Bengals try and stay at least a game in front of Houston and 2 up on the Browns. Cleveland takes on Pittsburgh today. Bernie Kosar has to sharpen his touch if the Browns are to remain in playoff contention. Meanwhile, Indianapolis and Minnesota are eyeing wild card possibilities. The Colts have won 5 in a row after a slow start, their longest winning streak in a decade. Eric Dickerson leads the league in rushing, so what else is new? Meanwhile, the Vikings have a breakaway threat of their own in Anthony Carter, who's tops in the National Conference in reception yards. Over in the AFC West, the Seahawks have a share of the lead as they go against Kansas City. A week ago, the Hawks welcomed David Craig back in a vital win against Houston. Another team at 6-5, sharing first in the West, is Denver. They go into the Superdome against New Orleans today. John Elway's Broncos have been up and down all year, but last week he and his team were sharp in routing Cleveland. They'll have to be just as good to win on the Saints' home field. The opportunistic Saints lead the NFC West with a record of 8-3. They secured that spot with a strong defensive effort in beating the Rams a week ago. Speaking of Los Angeles, they host the Chargers today. Their top gun, Jim Everett, has misfired the past couple of weeks after a hot start. If he's to keep John Robinson smiling, he'll need to be on target against San Diego today. Big doubleheader Sunday coming up next on NBC. Hi again, everybody. Bob Costas with Ahmad Rashad and Gail Gardner. Welcome to NFL Live. It's week 12 of the season, and the rush for the playoffs is on. The Giants are in the midst of it, but they'll have to do it without 9-time Pro Bowl linebacker Harry Carson, who was placed on injured reserve this week after undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his right knee. Carson says he's disappointed he was placed on IR, a move that'll keep him on the sidelines for at least 4 weeks, when he says he could play next week. He also says he didn't learn of his actual status until he read about it in the Philadelphia Inquirer. I spoke with him an hour ago, asked him if he was bitter about the way the Giants have treated him in this situation.
I'm not really angry. I'm very disappointed that the move was made, and no one really knew what my status was. No one cared to find out whether I would be able to come back and play, especially at this time during the season when, the games that we have left are important games. And I understand they have a job to do, but I also want to do a job, and I want to be a part of a group trying to get to the Super Bowl and win the championship. But, you can't do that when you're on IR.
All right, the way it stands now, because you're on IR, you've got to miss 4 weeks. That would leave just 1 week remaining in the regular season. Does this have any impact on your retirement plans?
Well, I'm thinking about that right now because I did HBO last week, and I announced on HBO that I wanted this to be my last season because I wanted to go out on top, and I was having fun this season. This is not going out on top, and we're kind of reevaluating the situation, and I enjoy playing football, and I never really put a time limit on it, and I thought this would be a good time to leave. But right now, I would say that everything is kind of on hold right now.
All right, elsewhere this week, Detroit's Darryl Rogers became the first NFL head coach to be fired this season. Defensive coordinator Wayne Fontes has been named interim head coach. Now, some reports had Houston's Jerry Glanville headed for the Motor City, but Glanville dismissed those stories when NFL Live caught up with him this week in Houston.
Really, there's a couple of facts, and the facts are the Lions have never called me, never asked to speak to me. They've never called the Houston Oilers, and that's fact. And so I think anything that you hear about us is really 100% fiction or speculation.
Okay, we just wanted to update you now on what actually happened on this play in last week's Bears-Redskins game. It seems the Redskins' Dexter Manley did more than just twist the face mask of Bears quarterback Mike Tomczak. He also told Tomczak to suck eggs. This week, Tomczak spoke back.
Dexter Manley told me the other night that if he ever sees me again, he's gonna hit me so hard I'll be sucking eggs the rest of my life. Well, here's your raw egg, Dexter. You know, the reason I push him is because I think he's a raw egg. I'm not gonna put up with any more BS from him, or anybody else, for that matter. Here's Dexter Manley. Here goes the egg. And here goes another one. And he can suck on these when the Bears in the playoffs and he's sitting home. Here you go, Manley.
Yes, some genteel sentiments expressed by Mike Tomczak. Shifting our attention for a moment to the college game, Texas A&M coach Jackie Sherrill voluntarily sat out the Aggies' 18-0 victory yesterday over TCU after newspaper reports tied him to payments to a former Aggie running back, George Smith. Smith, whose statements implicated Sherrill, yesterday recanted his story. But the Dallas Morning News said that it had reported accurately what Smith claimed took place. In any case, Sherrill says he will coach this coming week's game against Texas. The Aggies are not headed for a bowl this year, but obviously a number of other teams are, and Ahmad now has the rundown.
Thanks, Bob. The nation's top 4 teams, Notre Dame, USC, Miami, and West Virginia, all won easily yesterday, and they all accepted bowl bids. Notre Dame and West Virginia are headed for a probable national championship showdown in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami will stay home and take on the Big 8 champs Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. The Fiesta and the Orange Bowl will headline Bowl Day January 2nd, right here on NBC. Bowl Day begins with the Hall of Fame game, which will pit Syracuse against either LSU or Auburn. Whichever one of those two teams doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame will find itself playing Florida State in the Sugar Bowl. In the Rose Bowl, it's Michigan and USC. In the Cotton, it's Arkansas and UCLA. And Bob, once again, those Fighting Ducks of the University of Oregon will go to no bowl.
Yeah, they waddled to defeat against Oregon State, a bitter defeat yesterday, right?
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
You know, Miami, boy, they might be on a neutral field. They got to be the best team in the country. They win at LSU last night, and they do it easily.
Some people are saying they're the best team in Miami, pro or college.
Speaking of Miami, that's where the Patriots are tonight. And when we return on NFL Live, Gail Gardner will talk with Pats quarterback Doug Flutie. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
NFL Live is brought to you by Volkswagen. Experience German engineering the Volkswagen way. By Radio Shack, the technology store. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
The cyclone. The whip. The hurricane. Some call Aerolacine a test track. To us, it's an amusement park. And when a car can handle the rides here, we give it a special name. We call it a Volkswagen. German engineering the Volkswagen way.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Radio Shack has 9 different educational toys that make learning fun. Spelling Math has 15 different games that teach Jeff basic math, spelling, and logic.
And Beth learns about colors, shapes, and numbers with her show and learn game. She's having so much fun. I hate to tell her it's B-E-D-T-I-M-E. She's been learning from Jeff's spelling math.
Educational toys, education through imagination. $9.95 to $29.95, only at Radio Shack.
When Delta Airlines Steve Masutka found a wedding ring,
The person who lost a ring, please return to Delta Gate B6.
I'll be standing over here.
he knew someone had to be very unhappy.
Young man, are you the one who found my ring?
Yes, ma'am.
This means so much to me. How can I repay you?
This is part of my job, ma'am.
Do you know what it's like to hear the cheers at the Rose Bowl as they rise up from 100,000 seats? Now you do. Adidas Aftershave and Cologne, the essence of sports.
Oh, hot! Designer sweats remote control everything. VP at 28. Whoa! My imported beer, whatever's in this week.
When you're done kidding around, Heineken.
Welcome back to NFL Live. At 5-5-1, the Jets go into Buffalo today to take on the 10-1 Bills. After a reasonably good start, the Jets have now lost 2 in a row. That's been their pattern in recent years, quick out of the gate and then faltering in the second half. That's brought criticism of Coach Joe Walton, and there are other specifics. They say that Wesley Walker, one of the great receivers of recent years, has been left out of the offense. Yes, Altoon has caught a lot of passes, but only one of them has gone for more than 26 yards. And so amidst all this talk, and with the Jets playing 500 ball, there's speculation about Walton's job security. Prior to the game today in Buffalo, I asked him about his status.
Oh, I think the nature of the job, there's not a lot of security in it, and there's a lot of pressure. But I certainly don't blame the fans. We have great fans in New York and great Jet fans. They're frustrated. We're all frustrated. But I think for us to be 5-1 at this point in the season, when everybody was predicting a lot worse, I think we're making progress.
Last week, though, the Jets had 3 turnovers that led directly to the Patriots scoring as they lost to New England 14-13 at the Meadowlands. And speaking of the Patriots, they're in action tonight at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami against the Dolphins. And that means the spotlight falls on Doug Flutie. Gail?
Doug Flutie, as it always seems to whenever he shows up anywhere. The Patriots, of course, with a revitalized running game, have moved into wild-card contention at 6-5. With Doug Flutie as a starter, they have 4-2 as they take on the Dolphins tonight at Joe Robbie. Flutie returns to the city in which he forged one of the legendary moments in college football history. 84 orange ball. It was the final play of the game, and Flutie heaved it into the end zone 48 yards to Gerald Phelan. You know, look at it now. Boston College shocking Miami by the score of 47-45. And Doug Flutie is able to join us now from Miami, where the Pats are looking for their 4th win in a row. Doug, you finally did get your shot, and there had to be times you felt it never would happen.
Well, you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and things were a little frustrating. You're in positions where you don't see yourself getting out on the field, and that it could be a while before you get your opportunity. And you just have to be patient with it and sit and wait and take advantage of your chances when they come.
Doug, I know you've been a little embarrassed by the attention you've been getting over the last few weeks because you feel basically you've just kind of been handing off. But let's face it, the team has been clicking with you in there. So if you can be a little objective about it, what do you think is the contribution that you are making?
I think more than anything, add a little versatility to the offense, and we're doing some different things, moving around. We're still throwing out of the pocket, but we're doing some other things as well. But the majority of the offense is still coming from the running game, and that's right now the key to our success.
Do you think that we have seen on a professional level the best of Doug Flutie yet?
I hope not. I hope I have a long way to go yet, and will steadily improve every week. I've got a lot to learn yet, and still becoming more and more comfortable each week out in game situations.
You know, Doug, you look at some of the guys who've played in the NBA, like Calvin Murphy and like Tyrone Bogues, like Spud Webb. Usually their height is used as sort of a rallying point. In your case, though, for some reason, people have used it to demean you in a lot of ways. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's something to write about. It's a story, and people have been using it for the last 8 years. I just keep going out each week and playing football and enjoying myself, and it's a career to me now, and I don't worry about the height issue anymore.
You know, you've had a few detractors, let's face it, over the course of time. Obviously, the comments that were made by Jim McMahon a while back, and you've dealt with them and all of that. But I know you have to feel that at least some retribution at this point.
A little bit, because I have started a series of games in a row now. We've been successful, and, you know, I have goals, and the #1 goal is to win a Super Bowl, and I won't be happy until that day comes.
You know what I wanted to ask you was that there seems to be such a terrific love affair between the people in the New England area and yourself. Can you explain where that comes from or why that's happened?
Just the whole experience at Boston College. It was exciting for a lot of people. The Heisman Trophy year, everything that just happened during my college career got people excited about football in this area, and the fact that I came back to New England was exciting for me as well as the fans.
Doug Flutie, the Patriots in Miami tonight, a place where the Dolphins totally dominated the Pats until recent years. Patriots are coming off their first road win of the season. The Dolphins are coming off their worst loss at home in 28 years.
Well, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and everybody else in the AFC East, if they have any playoff aspirations at all, they got to be thinking wild card, because Buffalo, with their record of 10-1, the best in the NFC, has left everybody else behind in that division. And when we come back, Ahmad Rashad takes a look at their bruising defense.
This man is twice as strong as this man. Tom ZX is twice as strong as Rolaids. So when you have heartburn, get the extra strength and acid. Tom ZX, twice as strong as Rolaids.
America's leading consumer products rating service says one battery, Megatron 34 from Interstate, tested best. It ran circles around better-known brands and won by a mile. Megatron 34 from Interstate. Ask for it.
Celebrations in all of love's languages. Only a diamond says forever.
Before your tires show uneven wear, have your alignment checked, or you could be shortening tire life and taking risks. At Midas, trained professionals with the latest technology align your car right. Hey, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
It was an awful sound.
The most awful sound.
Amen.
It was a hissing.
It was a buzz. You cannot describe it with the human mouth.
Say no more.
If your long distance sounds bad, call and hear why 9 out of 10 business people prefer the sound of U.S. Sprint.
I've been hearing so much about Hyundais that I decided to come and check them out. For my research, I chose Hyundai of Orchard Park because Hyundais are all they sell. Now this is a really neat car. Very comfortable. Plenty of legroom. And just look at all this trunk space. The possibilities are endless. And Hyundais start at $57.55. It makes sense to me.
Hyundai of Orchard Park. Cars that make sense from a dealer that makes sense.
Ahmad Rashad was there that day watching in disbelief from the sidelines as Peyton shredded his Vikings, right?
I found myself cheering from time to time. A guy ran for 275 yards. You don't see that every day.
Well, you know, when you go into Buffalo today, or at least when our cameras go into Buffalo, we'll find that Joe Walton has made a quarterback switch. Pat Ryan is in. Ken O'Brien, who has been ineffective, has been benched. But what an assignment for the veteran Ryan. He runs right into that Buffalo defense.
Well, I'm telling you, they are so strong there, Bobby. You know, about 4 weeks ago, the talk around the league centered on the exploits of the Cincinnati Bengals, the Saints, and the Rams, all with very good records. There was also a lot of discussion about the tough season the Dolphins and the Raiders were having, but very little conversation about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have been the hottest team in football, and it's only now that they've become the talk of the NFL. In Buffalo, the Bills are talking proud. The Buffalo Bills are stampeding through the National Football League this year. They have the best record in the business at 10-1, and they're doing it with defense. A defense made up of first and second round draft choices. They have a pair of linebackers as good as any in the league. Shane Conlon, second-year linebacker from Penn State, leads the team in tackles and acrobatic interceptions. Cornelius Bennett is a bona fide star, a man with enough athletic skills to play any position on a football team. Cornelius, you guys have the type of defense that, instead of sitting back, you guys attack every single game that you play. Is that your philosophy?
Well, yes, you know, we have a real simple philosophy on defense. You know, we have some great personnel, myself, Shane, Bruce Smith, Art Steele, and Fred Smirlis, those guys. You know, being on the field with these guys, you know, at the same time, it's a great thing because we all, you know, we go in and play real well together. And I think, you know, each Sunday, you know, we just go in and we have everything together and practice during the week, and come Sunday, everything is like a glove. Everything fits real well.
What's the difference between last year's defense and this year?
I think experience from
myself, maybe Cornelius, Bruce, I think we're getting better. We're just seeing a lot more things, and we're just experiencing each game. We're getting a little better. I think that's the difference.
It's got to make it a lot easier for you now that you got that defensive line in front of you that keeps those offensive linemen off you so you can roam from side to side.
I'm telling you, especially with Fred Smirlis, he doesn't get as much credit, I think, as he deserves. He just keeps the center and usually both guards off the 2 inside linebackers, and makes our job a lot easier.
After 10 years in the trenches, Fred Smirlis has reemerged as one of the premier nose tackles. Bruce Smith is arguably the best defensive end in football. He has the size of the bull and the quickness of a cat, a combination that puts fear in all quarterbacks.
I'm not going to keep blowing smoke on this guy, but he's the best defensive end in football, and he probably is the best defensive end I've seen in 10 years. Been in Gastineau, better than Howie Long and all of them. You know, and he hasn't gotten the recognition. Cornelius Bennett and right down the line, and that will come with time. We win this year, and also next year, you know, we're going to be looking at Bruce on Wheaties boxes.
Smith is that rare defensive end who is as good against the run as he is against the pass, and he's out to prove that he should be on those Wheaties boxes now.
I think that each and every time we line up across the line from somebody, I think that we're out to prove something, and we want to prove it to ourselves as well, and that's what we try and do.
Because of the strong line and the lightning-quick linebackers, Mark Kelso, the safety, has been able to pick off 7 interceptions. If defense takes you to the Super Bowl, then Buffalo should make reservations. Don't give me this major line that we're taking one game at a time, we ain't thinking playoffs. 10-1, you guys got to be thinking Super Bowl.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are. I mean, you got to be thinking. You got to think that you guys got to be one of the best teams in the league. You got probably as good or better shot than anybody else.
Well, I'll speak on that. I think after we get this Jets game under our belt, we'll be looking in terms of playoffs and further on down the line. But I think the most important thing right now is the New York Jets.
There's no question the Bills are on a roll. They seem to have the perfect combination, great defense and an offense that gets better every week. As the season goes along, it's obvious the offense is becoming more and more efficient. But the story is defense. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator, has a philosophy that fits his team perfectly. With all the great athletes they have, he doesn't overcoach them. He just lets them play. And if they aren't careful, they'll play themselves right into the next Super Bowl.
Well, you know, Chuck Knox had some good teams there in the early 80s, but it appears they're on their way to having their most successful teams since the mid-60s when they won AFL titles. Those were the Jack Kemp, Cookie Gilchrist, Elbert Golden Wheel Dubenian days.
And do not forget our compadre Paul McGuire was on that team.
In spite of his presence on that team, the Bills were outstanding at that time. Something else that they've done, and the defense, as you say, is the real story. Kelly hasn't been statistically the overpowering quarterback that he may have been in the past couple of years.
But what a leader, Bob.
Oh, without question.
Tremendous leader.
A quarterback with a linebacker's mentality. We've heard that often. And that makes a difference. A guy like Joe Kapp from the Vikings, a guy who can inspire a club.
He's a Joe Kapp with a great arm and much better quarterback skills than Kapp had, but the same kind of leadership qualities.
Something else that the Bills have done, they've really, especially in the last half dozen games or so, they've shifted the emphasis to the running game. With Rob Riddick and Thurman Thomas, the bulk of their yardage in a ball control offense has come from that running game.
That's what makes them so tough. Now they have an offense that keeps the ball long enough, and they don't give it up to you, and they don't score too quick. They can take the ball and control it all over the field, plus they got a defense that causes the turnovers, putting the offense in a very good scoring position.
Sort of an old-fashioned approach.
It really is. I think that there's no question they probably are the best team in the league right today.
They're favored by 7 today over the Jets. Paul likes the Bills at home against New York. You'll see the rest of his picks when we come back after these messages.
The event, the prestigious Black and White Ball. The place, the cultural heart of Northern California's wine country. And the wine served, why, Gribari, of course. Wines of tradition.
In 1859, Isaac Cook created a Great American champagne to launch the Great American Clipper ships. Today, people are still launching celebrations with Cook's Imperial American Champagne.
Because the Volkswagen Fox has front-wheel drive. Because it has negative steering roll radius. Because even our least expensive Volkswagen is a Volkswagen. When our engineers blow a tire, their greatest concern is deciding who's going to change it. German engineering, the Volkswagen way.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
You're always
toys at home with a Radio Shack answering machine, so you'll never miss a call from a loved one.
Merry Christmas, son. We hope you're enjoying your Radio Shack answering machine.
Or an important client.
Jim, call me right away. You got the deal.
And you can feel secure knowing you can avoid unwanted calls.
Hi, newlywed.
This answer notes the time and date.
3 p.m., December 25.
Radio Shack, answering America's calls. Answering machine from $59.95 to $199.95.
Davy Crockett?
The legend you grew up with returns in a special 2-hour movie.
We are here.
The all-new Davy Crockett tonight.
So, in looking at Paul McGuire's early selections for the games that start at 1 Eastern Time, he likes all the favorites. Interesting, though, in that Cincinnati-Dallas matchup in Dallas today, where the Bengals are favored by just 4.5 over a reeling Dallas team that's lost 7 in a row, it brings to mind the interconference situation. The AFC has taken a drubbing in the Super Bowl of late, and there's no question that overall they have not been nearly as strong as the NFC. However, this year, they lead in the interconference matchups 20-16. Ahmad, that may not actually be reflective of any resurgence on the part of the AFC, but at this point, the younger conference is looking for almost anything to boost its self-esteem.
Well, I think I'll go out on a limb here, and I will pick Gale's Bengals over the Cowboys, so they'll be at 21-16.
Some retribution for that loss in Kansas City. I think you're going to see that, too. They've lost 3 straight on the road, the Bengals have.
Yeah, and they let that game slip away in the late stages.
That's why they're going to beat up on the Cowboys.
And we stop right here. Frank DeFord joins us at halftime. In the meantime, enjoy the games, everybody.
Here when the Oilers battle the Cowboys. Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Your good neighbor Chevy dealers payload payout is Chevynomics in action. Forget about the old-fashioned Ford and save up to $2,200 on a full-size Chevy. Well, check out this S-Blazer 4x4 or this S10 pickup, and you can save up to $2,400 on either one. With a huge selection and tremendous savings, you'll never get more truck for less money. Right now during Chevy's payload payout at your good neighbor Chevy dealer. You'll never get more truck for less money.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
Sorry, Alex. You know the rules, buddy. Let me have a serious Pat. About my monthly tab. Seems really high.
No, that's right.
Looks high to me.
Maybe you shouldn't let your buddy use it.
My buddy.
Brown hair, wears it long.
Is he short?
Yeah, talks funny, too.
Wolf?
Says that a lot.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Eats the peanuts right out of the bowl, too.
Donate a new unwrapped toy and make our Christmas wish come true for kids' sake.
The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today, from Rich Stadium, it's the New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. Brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mazda Cars and Trucks, including the all-new Mazda MPV. And by new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Anything less would be uncivilized. The
New York Jets, badly in need of offense, are changing quarterbacks today. Pat Ryan gets the call, replacing Ken O'Brien. But Ryan's assignment is an awesome one because he'll be attacked by two of the great defenders in pro football, like number 55 linebacker Cornelius Bennett of the Buffalo Bills. In just his second year, he is a truly great player. And so is the man on the other side, number 78, Bruce Smith of the Buffalo Bills. An all-pro pass rusher, Smith, at almost 300 pounds, runs down ball carriers all over the field. The Bills are flying high right now. A victory today in just the 12th week of the season sends them into the playoffs as AFC Eastern Division champion. You see their 10-1 record. If they beat the Jets today, that'll be it in the division. Buffalo will have won it with 4 games still to be played. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at sold-out Rich Stadium. 80,000 are here. There's a football celebration going on in Buffalo, and with reason. These fans think they have the next Super Bowl champion, and they might be right. The Jets have to somehow try to offset it. Defense has been overwhelming people, Trump. What does Pat Ryan have to do?
Well, I think the one thing that Pat Ryan can do for the New York Jets is move around. Now, Ken O'Brien is a very high percentage completion passer, but he is a target. He does not roll well. He does not run well. Pat Ryan has not started a real game since 1986, but he's a mobile quarterback. He's also a very, very well-liked quarterback on the New York Jets, and I think the Jets are just trying to get a little more activity in their offense.
Coming after Pat Ryan today, among others, will be that number 78, Bruce Smith, who was unblockable the last time the Jets and the Bills played in October at Giant Stadium. He just devastated the pass blocking of the Jets.
Yeah, Don, when you look at Bruce Smith and his teammates on defense here in Buffalo, you got to bring out a big bag of superlatives. These guys are mean, they are tough, they are brutes. If you get behind, or if you get third down and long yardage situations a lot all day long, those guys will eat you alive. That's a tremendous challenge today for the Jets. Stay out of those long yardage situations and try to get on top early.
The tune is Shout. They're letting it rip already. Coach Joe Walton's had good success sending his Jets against the Bills. You see his record here at Rich Stadium. He's 8-3 overall with Jet teams against Buffalo. Now, this could be a different story today as Marv Levy has a football powerhouse generating here in Buffalo. A team that routed the Jets at Giant Stadium in October, 37-14.
Don, if there's an advantage for the New York Jets today, and it certainly must also be a help to the Buffalo Bills, is there's no wind in this stadium. This is one of those rare occasions in Buffalo late in the season where wind will not be a factor, at least at the start of the game. And wind is the one element that no coach wants to really play in because it'll favor you 2 quarters, it'll be your enemy 2 quarters. So the wind should not be a factor.
Playing conditions are very good. Temperature about 45 degrees. Trump mentioned wind not a factor. The field is dry. There is the threat of rain as there is throughout the East. The Jets have won the toss, and they'll be receiving to start the game. Townsell and Humphrey are back deep. And ready to kick it off for the Bills is Scott Norwood. Buffalo leading the National Football League in wins and in attendance. 7 games, their 7th sellout. 80,000, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Jets getting set to start the return. Walton thinks it is critically important not to fall behind Buffalo. The Bills scored on their first 5 possessions against the Jets in October, and here comes the return. This is Bobby Humphrey across the 20, hit at the 24 and driven back, and that is where the Jets will go on offense. German Cockcroft was down to make the play on special teams. Trump?
Don, I don't think Marv Levy could have orchestrated it better. In the game to win the division championship, his defense takes the field first. That's perfect.
As you look at the people that will be trying to block them, Criswell he's just a rookie. He was eaten alive by Bruce Smith. Not many people that haven't been one-on-one. They do have Banker back at left guard, Ted Banker. He has been out for 4 games with an injured foot. Pat Ryan directing the offense. Temperature could be down in the 30s by the end of this one. The field is dry with the threat of rain. And Freeman McNeil, who's had some very good games against the Bills, gets the first carry. And running up the right side into linebacker Ray Bentley, McNeil has about 5 yards. The defense, Art Still, a 4-time Pro Bowl player. Fred Smerlas, a 4-time Pro Bowl player. Bruce Smith,
Perhaps the best defensive lineman in the NFL. He or Reggie White. Cornelius Bennett, he'll be all-pro at age 22 in his second year. Shane Collins been terrific. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year last season out of Penn State. Bentley's been outstanding, and Darryl Kelly grades out as high as anybody on the defense. Secondary's been better than maybe their abilities because they've really had a lot of balls thrown their way under duress. Here is Ryan on the run, very much under duress. Incomplete pass on second down and 5. That brings up third down. Bruce Smith was a coming.
Now, the first thing to note here is the New York Jets are putting their offense to the left-hand side. See 82 Mickey Schuler? That helps Criswell. As long as you have a tight end or someone out there next to the tackle and Bruce Smith has to worry about the crackdown block. And all they're trying to do is slow down Bruce Smith just a little bit. Just make him hesitate at the line of scrimmage. Because when this young man has total pass rush, his first step off the line is about 3.5 yards long, and he's on the quarterback before anybody realizes it.
Everybody that plays against him says you can't believe how fast he is until you play him. Here he comes again. There's a throw downfield. Tune has it for a Jet first down. A beautiful delivery by Pat Ryan as Smith was almost on him, and he fired that fastball that Tune went up for a 13-yard gain on third down, and the Jets keep the drive going.
Bills came with the extra defensive back. Kirby Jackson was the man in coverage. The Buffalo Bills like man-to-man coverage all over the place. And, of course, man-to-man coverage works when you get great pressure from up front. That time, Bruce Smith runs around Ryan. Tune makes an outstanding catch. First down, Jets.
So the Jets, who had little luck converting on third downs the last time they played the Bills, connect there. And it's first and 10 at the 43. Opening drive, there's no score. McNeil cutting back, gets to the 45-yard line. A first down carry is good for 3. Fred Smerlas, a 290-pound nose tackle out of Boston College, makes the stop. He's one of the leaders of the Buffalo team. Fred Smerlas, easy rider, a motorcycle rider.
He's certainly seen the worst of times playing for the Buffalo Bills up here. A win today will equal the last 2 seasons' wins by the Buffalo Bills. Can you imagine that?
Out of those ashes of 2 and 14 years have come some of the best players in the league right now, and all of a sudden it's come together. Jet left guard Banker left early. But the Jets, instead of second down and 8, will now have to go second down and 13.
Now that's what that threat of pass rush does to you. Banker was up in a 2-point stance, and any movement whatsoever, and Banker, he was down in his 3-point stance. The secret to pass protection is to get up in that pass protecting position as quickly as you possibly can. Banker that time broke out of his stance, and now you've got second down and long. Watch out, pass rush.
Joe Walton said we just have to build on the last 5 games. It's a 5-game season for us now, as the Jets come in 5-1. Second and 13 for Pat Ryan and the Jets. Roger Vick a line behind him. They go to McNeil. He breaks one tackle and another, and Freeman McNeil bounces and gets to the outside and out to the 48-yard line. They gained almost 10 yards on the play. Third down and perhaps 4 is coming up as Mark Kelso, who could be a Pro Bowl player this season. The free safety out of William & Mary made the tackle.
Nice draw trap here run by the New York Jets. They get by that pass rush, and then, of course, with man-to-man coverage down the field, it's pretty easy for Freeman McNeil to break a tackle here and there. We do have a Buffalo Bill down on the field.
So while the injured Bill is attended to, there's a break in the action here at Orchard Park, New York.
What's up, big job? We got 5 seats. Done this. All right, it's nonsense. Yeah, I can't deal with that now. I know. It's this. Showtime, baby. Get him.
For the hustle, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Hey, man, good job. You the best. Hey. Oh, great to that.
Mazda's got a brand new vehicle that's as unique and special and friendly as the family dog. It's the all-new Mazda MPV. It carries 7 like a wagon, it's versatile like a van, and with its responsive V6, it performs like a Mazda. If Mazda's MPV sounds like something that's never been before, You're right. About the only thing it won't do is get your paper in the morning. The all-new Mazda MPV. Family transportation. The Mazda way.
Now, the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette. Personal hygiene. How will you separate yourselves from those barbaric hordes that exude a most malodorous air? New Ride Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Maximum protection and a fresh new scent. A veritable olfactory medley. New Ride Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized. Raise your glasses, gentlemen, to civilization.
Derek Burrows still down on the floor of the stadium. He took a knee to the head. Burrows being attended to. And as Freeman McNeil cuts to the outside, you'll see Burrows come from the right. Here's the contact right here, but keep watching Burrows. Keep watching Burrows. He looks up, and he watches McNeil go on down the field, and then puts his head down. Now, Burrows is rolled over on his back. Sometimes when your head takes the contact, hangs your neck around, you get what's called a stinger. It looks like he's holding his jaw. Maybe he got just a shot in the jaw. Good right cross.
Only score up so far as we look at the scoreboard. The Browns up on the Steelers 3-0 in the first quarter at Cleveland Stadium. Bears playing at Tampa Bay is interesting, Trump. Mike Ditka back on the sideline following his recent mild heart attack, and Ray Perkins, the coach at Tampa Bay, said that 3 years ago when he coached at Alabama, he had a mild heart attack and was back on. He didn't want anybody to know about it. Was back coaching in 3 days.
You know, Don, this is on the fringe of being involved in football, but there are certainly a lot of doctors around the country that I've read that are not too pleased to see Mike Ditka back on the sideline coaching. A lot of doctors have said that's really a bad indication of the way some people in this country take coronary heart disease.
Now Derek Burrows helped off. He's a former #1 draft choice, the left corner out of Memphis State for Buffalo. Wayne Davis will step in, a free agent. Derek Burrows still obviously groggy. Biggest play in this game so far. 3rd and 5 play for the Jets. Pat Ryan, under a great rush, delivered a strike 13 yards downfield to Al Toon.
Burrows is hanging on to his jaw, and that's what took the brunt of Freeman McNeil's knee. Now here's a good down for the Jets. 3rd down and short. Yeah, see, they're working on his jaw.
Extra DBs in on 3rd down and a long 4. Just over 4 yards for the Jets. No score. 12:09 to play. First quarter.
Moves Smith over the center.
They started doing that for the first time Monday night at Miami. Handoff to the outside. Freeman McNeil, and he gets ahead. Free ball out of bounds. And it looks like Freeman McNeil, well, he's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they make the spot. He could have it. He does. Jets get their second first down in the drive. Mark Kelso knocked him down. McNeil's had some terrific days against the Bills.
Don, the Jets did a great job of being at the line of scrimmage early. They were able to identify who was where, and they simply ran away from all of the attention, but there's a flag down, and that first down is not going to count.
Dick Hantak, the referee. We don't know what the penalty was.
We did not see the flag at all, but it ends up being 3rd down and 13.
He just announced it. Holding on someone, huh? Holding call against the Jets. 3rd down and 15 now as Ryan looks for the out man. He brings it over, and with the ball is Hector running in the open field. He's knocked down at the 45-yard line. Another marker down front. In the Buffalo backfield, Smurlus and Leonard Smith combined on the stop.
Screens are good against great pass rush. It's a penalty against Buffalo, and it was all the way on this side of the field. The screen far side, the penalty this side.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 58. 5 yards. First down.
Shane Conlon. The man that Joe Paterno called the best linebacker ever to play for Penn
something. All the great linebackers out of there.
Marv Levy likens Conlon to the guy who wore the same number for the Steelers so many years, Jack Lambert.
Except Conlon's a lot bigger.
He is big. Derek Burrows, obviously an injury to his face or his jaw, being taken off the field now. His first down and 10 comes up on a defensive penalty against the Buffalo Bills. Here's Freeman McNeil on first down, out to the 49-yard line. They're really going to McNeil. He's getting a lot of carries early as Ray Bentley and Leonard Smith combine on the stop for the Bills.
Don, they're also running almost exclusively right, are the New York Jets. They're not going at Bruce Smith.
3 carries, Trump, for Freeman McNeil. He's gained 19 yards. Second down and 5 with the ball in his position, just short of midfield.
Jets are doing a good job here on the chains. They're not facing a lot of long yardage situations. They've had 2 compared to 1 by penalty. The other one with the catch by Al, too.
Roger Vick. Hit by Smirlis and by Bentley. And the knockdown is made at about the 49-yard line of Buffalo. Conlon also shot the gap to make the head-on hit. First tackler, Shane Conlon. And so now third down arises again for the Jets.
One thing you notice about these Bill linebackers is how deep from the line of scrimmage they are. Conlon right there, reads it all the way. He's untouched. He really puts the hammer on Roger Vick. Very seldom do running backs break tackles of Bentley, Cornelius Bennett, Talley, or Shane Conlon. Terrific tackles.
So Ryan on third down and 3. Brings McNeil in motion with extra tight ends and a spread out. All roll-out pass play, long ball downfield, and incomplete ball, and the Jets will have to punt it. Conlon coming hard. Puts the rush on Pat Ryan just before he delivered that errant pass.
Now, Don, that's what the Jets can do with Pat Ryan. Roll him out. He's a lot more mobile than is Ken O'Brien. But Conlon, that looks like blitz all the way to me with great foot speed. The intended receiver was Wesley Walker, but Ryan could not set up to make the pass, and the Jets had must punt.
Brian Bosworth of the Seattle Seahawks got all the press among the first-year linebackers. Shane Conlon made all the plays. They weren't even on the same planet as far as what they delivered as rookies. Fourth down, and Prokop standing back at his 36-yard line. A high punt downfield. Flip Johnson. He'll let it hop, and it steps into the end zone, and it'll come out as a touchback to the 20-yard line. 49-yard punt. 20 comes off on net yardage out to the 20. And the Bills go on offense for the first time in this scoreless game. 9:21 to go in the first quarter. Jim Kelly bringing out the Buffalo offense.
Nobody likes compromises. Everybody wants a car that does everything. The new Mazda 626 handles all those practical things you expect from any family sedan. But it also knows how to handle roads like these. So if there was ever a car that let you have your cake and eat it too, sure hope you're hungry. Mazda 626, a sophisticated family sedan the Mazda way.
Winter's beautiful. She's just not real friendly sometimes. The days get shorter, the cold makes things kind of brittle, and the boys, well, they just get uglier. But come nightfall, when the fire gets hot, you still get thirsty. Winter's not so bad.
Head for the mountains of Bush Beer.
Now there's a football game with all the sound, all the action, the challenge of the real game. Introducing play-by-play talking football, the best game next to the real game.
I'd rather switch than itch, so I switched to Tegrin.
Tegrin medicated shampoo controls all the major causes of itching and flaking, so Tegrin is more than strong enough for tough dandruff like yours.
Wouldn't you rather switch than itch?
This is Don Cookie with Bob Trumpy back at Orchard Park, New York on an overcast day in western New York State. The Bills go on offense for the first time today after the Jets had a sustained offense. Had the ball for almost 5:40. But they finally are forced to punt. Now Jim Kelly brings out the offense. As you see, a big offensive line that's run the ball very well. First 5 games of the season, the Bills averaged under 90 yards a game rushing. Last 6 games, they've doubled that almost. Levy said we want to develop a run mentality. He's a firm believer, Trump, that if you run the ball 30 times a game, you're going to win. And that's what the Bills have been doing lately.
A lot of credit is given to Tim Vogler, too. He was on the injury reserve list with a bad knee, comes back, and all of a sudden Thurman Thomas goes crazy. This is a very interesting offense in that they have a set of backs for almost every series of plays that they run.
One area the Jets have been better than the Bills at is the giveaway takeaway. The Jets are plus 12 on fumbles and interceptions. Bills are only plus 4, and that might be the key as Thurman Thomas breaks into open field. The rookie runner from Oklahoma State. They didn't play Monday night at Miami because of a slight thigh injury. Now comes back and rips off a huge gain, a 29-yarder. Finally, Meow and Hasty knock him down for the Jets.
Don, it did not appear that Thomas was going to break through the line of scrimmage. The Jets did a pretty good job. Watch what happens. It's right at the left guard. Vogler does a great job pushing Lyons out. See, it looked like he was going to be stopped there, and all of a sudden he breaks. This kid breaks an awful lot of tackles.
Despite missing almost 2 complete games, he's well over 600 yards rushing now, and he's got more on this play as they go right back at the right side of the Jet defense. Thurman Thomas, a 5'10", 200-pound runner, was projected as a high #1 draft choice, but he had a knee injury. He's playing with no anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee. But seems to do all right with it. He played his senior year without it after being hurt as a junior. In one game against the Oklahoma Sooners, had almost 180 yards running. Bills picked him in the 2nd round as we look at the Jet defenders. Alex Gordon back. He didn't play in that first game against the Bills, nor did tight end Mickey Schuler. Jim Kelly with his first pass swings it out. He's got his man, Andre Reed, with his 54th reception of the season. In his wisdom, James Hasty, the right cornerback of the Jets, a rookie, said Buffalo has the worst receivers we've ever played against. None of them are any good. Hasty was covering on the play. Not very well. Chicago moving out in front of Tampa Bay 7-0.
Down the way that Buffalo runs its offense, it's all set up with that running game, and then the play action passing, holding the line of scrimmage, holding the linebackers at the line of scrimmage.
There's no score. 7:14 to play first quarter. Buffalo's opening drive getting big yardage virtually every down now is Ronnie Harmon, a runner from Iowa. He was a #1 draft choice. Takes it inside the 30. The Bills loaded with blue chippers. 15 of their 22 starters in offense and defense were drafted in the 1st or 2nd round.
They got 25 players on their roster from the first 3 rounds. And of course, with the way the Bills have lost over the last several years, a lot of those picks, very high picks in each round. So this is a talented football team.
Marv Levy sums it up very simply. And that's why his team is so good right now. He said we have good players and they play hard every down.
There's a guy who, too, also deserves a big tip of the cap, and that's Jim Ringo taking care of this offensive line. There he is right there. He was the offensive line for the Electric Company when O.J. Simpson went over 2,000 yards. He was the offensive line of the New York Jets for a couple of years when it was a very, very good offensive line. Chris Ward, Marvin Powell, Randy Rasmussen, Joe Fields.
Jim Ringo on the left, of course. He anchored the offensive line at center of those great Lombardi teams at Green Bay. Now the Bills have 2nd down coming up. 2nd down and about 5 with the ball is positioned at the 28-yard line of the Jets. 2 wide outs, go wide right. Pitch back. Thurman Thomas dips in, dips out, and the Jets shut down the run. Jet defense, while the team has lost its last 2 games, the Jet defense has played well. Benson particularly well, 54 inside linebacker. Marty Lyons is having maybe his best season in the NFL, and this is 10th year.
Here's a big key now. Last week, the Buffalo Bills, that's Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Jets. He's well aware of this stat. The Bills converted 82% of their 3rd downs to 1st downs against Miami. 14 of 17. They faced 3rd down and 5 here.
Ted Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator of Buffalo, said we really moved the ball all season, but we couldn't get it in the end zone early. Lately, we've been taking it down and putting it in. Kelly, strong of arm, delivers a strike inside the 25-yard line. Andre Reed gets another one, and he has a first down for the Bills. Let's see where they spot the ball now. They're spotting it back a bit. It's going to might call for a measurement.
Watch the Jets secondary. They're playing zone. You see the linebacker there is waiting, or the safety, I should say, is waiting for Andre Reed to come in. Reed does a great job. That's Rich Spiano, 36, is just standing there waiting for him. And it's not enough for a first down, so...
First major decision well within Scott Norwood's field goal range. This is third down coming up. That should be fourth, isn't it?
They're going to measure. If they don't make it, it's fourth down, yeah.
So the sticks come out. Miano, as you pointed out, with the tackle that drove him back, but the spot is on position of the play. Buffalo does get the first down. Jim Kelly's in his third year with the Bills out of Miami of Florida. 28 years old. He comes in with 61% completions, 2,400 yards throwing the ball, an 81 rating. Marchibroda, who coaches him, says his greatest strength is his leadership. He doesn't care about personal stats. He'll take sacks. He'll do what it takes to win. He uses the clock as well as any quarterback he's ever had, including Burt Jones. So far, Kelly 2 for 2. His greatest strength, though, says Marchibroda, is the one every great quarterback has to have. It's accuracy. Here is Andre Reed. Tripped up as he comes inside the 20-yard line of the Jets and knocked out of bounds at about the 18.
Kind of looked like he slipped. Right at the line of scrimmage, it appeared the Jets were going to stop him for little or no gain. And then the Bills stayed with the play. 39 Mueller goes in motion. The pitch to Thomas. And Jim Kelly is out here leading the blocking. There's number 12. He gets a shot on Alex Gordon. It's a pretty good block. And then his feet just slip right out from underneath him, or he might be in the end zone.
Kyle Clifton was shaken up in that play, but he's staying in the game, an inside linebacker for the Jets. Game clock ticking. It's down to 4:50 and running in the first quarter. No score. This is Buffalo's first possession. They stopped the Jets, who had a 10-play drive and had the ball for 5:40 on the clock. Where the ball is spotted, it's going to be second down and 5. Thurman Thomas, the rookie runner, blockers in front, and Thurman Thomas makes that diving move down to the 10, but there's a marker down on the play.
Bills use their fullback.
Holding it in.
Yeah, it's against the Buffalo Bills, but Jamie Mueller is almost a personal escort for Thurman Thomas. I believe he's not particularly happy with what's going on here. There's a list of the officials there on his game plan, and he'll yell at them by first name as opposed to number.
Holding. Offense. Number 39. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Oh, I thought he made a great block. Watch Mueller lead this play. 39. I thought he went right down to the guy's legs. Oh, he just had his hand around. Well, that's a good call. He had his hand around his neck. There's no question that that's a holding call.
So the Bills are set back now. They had the ball positioned at the 26-yard line of the Jets. No score. Jim Kelly said he cried the day that he had to go to Buffalo. He really didn't want to play here. Now he never wants to leave. He's building a $2 million house.
That's tough to do in Buffalo, isn't it?
About 6 tons of granite in it, a disco, all the good things.
Wow. Wow.
Kelly, quick throw over the middle as Andre Reed's catching balls all over the field. Bills using a lot of crossing patterns against the Jets. Trying to lose those young corners. Jets with youth in their secondary, but a lot of good athletes back there.
That one was well covered by the New York Jets. Well covered. Andre Reed had nowhere to run whatsoever. He didn't gain many yards at all. Now, you were speaking of Kelly about his greatest attributes. if they needed a linebacker in a pinch, I think Jim Kelly would volunteer.
That was his position. That's what he was recruited at Penn State for, and he wanted to play linebacker. He wanted to play quarterback, went to Miami.
One of the toughest guys I think you'll ever meet individually.
He's been on with each throw, as you see, 3 of 3. Now they go to the draw play, and the Bills break the run straight up the middle. Very nearly a free ball. But holding on to it was Rob Riddick, the touchdown maker. He's been in the end zone 10 times this season. His first carry of this day is good for 12 yards.
Excellent play call. Scott Mercero, the nose tackle, and Rich Miano, the safety, make the tackle, but a great call by Ted Marchibroda. He's the one sitting up here in the booth. He gets the plays down to the field. Watch what happens. He runs right by Gordon. The left tackle pulls out to try to block somebody, but number 73, Will Wolford, there's nobody there.
Walton said, Trump, the thing you can't do against Buffalo is get behind, and the Bills threatening to go ahead here. Buffalo with a 6-game win streak. As they go to Thurman Thomas, nicely done on defense by Rich Miano of the Jets, and another marker is down at the 10-yard line.
That's thrown by the umpire. You can bet that's holding. It is against Buffalo. What is that, 3 holding calls now against Buffalo? They had 2 on offense and 1 on defense, I believe.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Interesting call because as of kickoff, Buffalo had no 66. They don't have one on the field now.
They don't have one on the sideline either. It's either 65 Tim Vogler or 67 Kent Hull.
Now the Bills go with first down and 20 at the 23-yard line of the Jets. Trumaine Johnson, 86 in motion. Kelly gets time. Now he runs out of it, and Jim Kelly hits for the 12th man. But he's caught and knocked down by Hasty, and this game's going to really heat up now. Go for Kelly, and they will go for you.
Hasty's a young rookie who likes to challenge people.
We'll get a response very shortly.
Jim Kelly, when he rolled out, he puts the ball in his left hand and tries to go a stiff arm on Hasty. Good coverage by the Jets.
Hasty's doing his job.
Now watch what he does. He switches the ball on the other hand, and he's going to stiff arm with his passing hand and arm Hasty. Now I admire the character there in Jim Kelly, but it's not a very smart choice. If he fractures a finger, all of a sudden Buffalo's in big trouble. Sometimes quarterbacks, even tough guys, got to remember who they are and what they're doing.
The Bills are still unhappy about the hit Kelly took on Monday night at Miami when that rookie DB from the Dolphins.
Jarvis Williams hit him. But look, when a quarterback leaves the pocket, he's a running back.
And he's live, there's no question. Hasty out there to watch him. Still no score. It'll be 2nd and 23 when we come back.
Choose to make a difference.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Every time you reach for MasterCard from now through December, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes, and you can help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
It's easy to see why Mazda truck owners are starting to toot their own horn. They've got enough reasons. Mazda trucks are so reliable. They've been rated #1 in customer satisfaction for 3 straight years. Mazda has the best warranty in the truck business. Nobody else can say that. And when you figure this sporty SE5 is priced close to the other guy's base trucks, what's left to say? I guess that says it. Mazda SE5, a sporty truck the Mazda way.
When he's working, when his work is done, a man wants a jean he can feel comfortable in. American Hero Jeans from Wrangler.
With the designed-in sound of a Delco Electronics music system, Now the best seat in the house is in your GM car or truck. Delco Electronics is who we are.
Light rain now falling here in western New York as the Bills have the ball positioned at the 27-yard line of the Jets. No score in this game. 2:22 to play in the first quarter. Second down and 23 coming up. 11th play of the drive, but the last 3 plays, Trump, they've been falling back.
Lots of penalties called on Buffalo to begin this football game. Not a heavily penalized team, but it certainly kills a lot of drives.
Buffalo's best deep threat. Andre Reed at the top of your screen, 83. Romaine Johnson near side. As Kelly with a deep drop stands in and dumps it off, and Ronnie Harmon can't hold on. That brings up third down and 23. Jets with a very aggressive defense and very good speed. They've improved their speed measurably in the defense this year.
Jets had that one well diagnosed, too. They had people out there. Gerald Nichols was putting pressure on Jim Kelly, but Mike Zordich, number 38, was right out there with Ronnie Harmon in case they do make that completion. This Jet team has really played hard. They got a lot of young guys in there. They've been heavily injured this season. Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator, knows he needs a defensive end. They basically have a roster of defensive tackles for a little better pass rush, but this team's not a long way from being a good one.
The Bills haven't beaten the Jets here at Rich Stadium since 1981. And the Jets play here every year. Here's a long ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Beautifully done by Hasty. And so the rookie corner who took the headshot at Kelly now picks him off.
That's a touchback. Jets will get the ball at the point of the interception. Take it back.
Momentum took him into the end zone.
It's not a touchback, but he'll get the ball at the point of the interception. This is a busted play. The receiver, Flip Johnson, breaks his pattern. He's at the bottom of the screen. Total zone by the Jets. Good underneath coverage. Now watch what happens when Kelly rolls. Now you see Flip Johnson go up the field. And Hasty does a great job with the interception.
Does he ever?
You talk about the plus-minus for the New York Jets. For Hasty, that's his 3rd interception of the season. And they take it back to the spot where he intercepted it.
Third-round draft choice out of Washington State. James Hasty makes a big play to start the Buffalo drive, and we still have a scoreless game. 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play now in the first quarter.
I think Jim Kelly tried to do a little too much on that particular play. Jets use an awful lot of zone. Hasty a great job of coverage there in making that interception.
Bills defense will be busting hard now, trying to get him in the end zone. Here's Ryan with a daring play. 8 yards deep. He lets it go to Toon, and he makes the play at the 23-yard line. So the Jets gamble and work it beautifully. Another pass completion. Ryan to Al Toon. This one good for 21 yards.
Now you notice Pat Ryan also wearing gloves today. Of course, Jim McMahon did that a couple of 3 years ago. Now it's rather common on inclement days. Ryan, a good play-action fake here. Holds the line of scrimmage. Holds the linebackers right there. Good pass protection. Criswell does a great job on Bruce Smith. Toon runs the out. Kelso was there too late. That's a big pickup by the New York Jets.
Real big, and it's downfield. That's been the problem for Joe Walton's Jets. Al Toon, their all-pro receiver, leads the conference with now 59 catches. But he's averaging under 10 yards a catch, and he's a downfield getter. He's had one for third. That's his second reception. His 13-yarder now 21-yarder. All for first down. Getting the Jets out of a hole. Johnny Hector gets the carry, and he's close to the 26-yard line. Smerlis, the nose tackle, made the stop for the Bills. Smerlis says one of the big things, Trump, that Marv Levy does as head coach, he keeps everybody fresh for game day. He doesn't, when the Bills were losing, some of the coaches would work them harder and harder, so we get to a game on Sunday. We didn't have our legs. We were worked out.
Well, an old guy like Fred Smerlis would certainly appreciate that. Smerlis has been around a few years.
10th year.
Audible.
Jets doing a good job keeping Cornelius Bennett off their QB. There's a throw downfield. Oh, a drop ball. Wesley Walker, who's not caught a pass, and this is going on to his 4th game. He hasn't had any receptions in the last 3 games. And that was one of the reasons that they went to Pat Ryan today. They need the deep threat of Wesley Walker.
Yeah, those two combined for 3 touchdown passes in a game they played here. Ryan started way back in 1984. So Ryan certainly likes Wesley Walker and comes into the game with an 18.9-yard average, certainly the best on the New York Jets. Ryan is now 2 of 5 for 35 yards. And has done a good job of spreading the ball around, and the offensive line has done a great job of protecting it.
They have. Ryan has stood in, and the pass protection is picked up now in this second possession of the Jets. Scoreless game.
Let's see where Smith is. Ryan took a timeout. 30-second clock was about to expire.
So with a minute and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter, timeout.
We're not a company.
But we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge.
We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop.
To perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach.
We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
In the village of Upper Nyack, the firemen fight fires with ladders and hoses. And a Murata fax machine. It's used to receive floor plans and detailed drawings of buildings so they can plan how to attack the fire before they get to the fire. Murata fax machines.
When unexpected events leave you battered, bruised, and bewildered, it's soothing to know that MetLife works hard to pay your claim promptly. Get Met, it pays.
Attention all men with noses. Introducing Schick Slim Twin Disposable. It's 28% slimmer than Good News to give you a close shave even in hard-to-reach places. New Schick Slim Twin, preferred by men who have noses.
Against Denver in 1975.
Trump, you were looking for something to develop a real trend early in this game. So far, the Jets have held off the Bills. They could be in at the distance.
You're right. The best thing that the Jets have done to this point is that Freeman McNeil is averaging better than 6 yards a carry, and the Jets have been able to protect their quarterback. Now, Tuna's run a couple of deep patterns, and they've been able to get him the ball. So far, Jets are doing exactly what they want. Now, they're losing the field position battle so far. They've been on their side of the 50. But they're starting.
There's Bruce Smith over the nose again. He's right on center. Jim Sweeney as Ryan gets some time.
Walker.
Downfield throw, and this time Wesley Walker makes sure he has it. A big gainer for the Jets, and now they start up on the far sideline. Leonard Smith, who came in a trade with the Phoenix Cardinals, mixing it up, but that was a 22-yard pickup as the Jet pass blocking has been inspired. As Kotite, the Jet offensive coordinator, likes to say, there is no pass offense without pass blocking, particularly against a team like the Bills. The Jets have had some good strikes throwing the ball because they've given Ryan time to deliver.
Now, once again, that's a very deep pattern run by a Jet receiver. Good time for Pat Ryan to throw it. Here's Hantak with the call.
Personal foul. Defense, number 46 has been ejected.
Leonard Smith and Derek Burrows now out of the ball game.
Yeah, that's a Marv Levy axiom. Don't be dumb, don't be dirty. Hasty may have been construed as going to the head of Kelly in front of the Buffalo bench.
Well, that's two starting defensive backs now that Buffalo is missing. Burrows by injury, and now Leonard Smith by the penalty. Nick Hantak was motioned to the sideline by Marv Levy. He wasn't interested in going. That's Darryl Talley. No, that's Leonard Smith being escorted to the sideline.
Bill's fourth penalty now for 40 yards, but this one the most expensive of all as they lose their starting strong safety on an ejection. Leonard Smith out, and Levy's apoplectic and with reason.
That's a 37-yard pickup. That's a 27-yard catch and a 15-yard penalty. Now watch once again. Leonard Smith. And they for that? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think Dick Hantak's mistake is going to the sideline. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, replay can have no part in this. The penalty is called. It's a decision by the official on the field. Harv Levy can complain all he wants. Leonard Smith is out of the game.
This is one of those plays replay does not get involved in. That's right, son.
That's what I just said. This is totally in the hands of Dick Hantak and his crew. If they determine that that is palpably unfair, he is thrown out. He is ejected.
What did he do, though?
I don't know that he did anything. I mean, that didn't appear as vicious a pull down as we've seen in a lot of other instances.
Leonard Smith is a very good player. He was a #1 draft choice of the Cardinals. The Cardinals had no cornerback to cover, so the Bills made a deal to get a top strong safety for a backup corner.
Now, Leonard Smith has got his hand on him, and it appears that he pulls Wesley Walker down, and that's what starts everything. It does
might be
appear,
a penalty, but an ejection?
It does appear that he pulls him down. But the important point is that's a 37-yard gain.
Now he's going to get himself.
And they also have lost their second starting defensive back of the day in a game where they can win the AFC Eastern Division title.
Ryan 3 of 6 Trump for some pretty good yardage.
Yeah, but Bills are helping him a great deal.
The lights are on. No score, but the Jets driving Cornelius Bennett. No flag. It looks like there is a flag, so it's a free play for Ryan. He gets out of bounds. Cornelius Bennett jumped early, so Ryan had a free play and got a couple of yards. But they'll take the penalty. It'll be first down and 5.
Now the Bills, the one thing that they can't do is lose their cool. I think if I were Marv Levy or the defensive coordinator, Walt Corey, I think I'd take a timeout and say, gentlemen, let's settle down here. Remember what's at stake.
Maybe this will cool some things off. The rain started to fall.
That's the 5th penalty now on the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills have not been to the playoffs since they were AFC Eastern champions in 1980, and that year they didn't go far. They've not had a playoff game at home since 1967.
Offside. Defense, number 55, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Now somebody out there, Don, in my estimation, one of the veterans, Smurless or somebody's got to get over the anger, settle the Buffalo defense down, and get them back concentrating on what they have to do here. 5 penalties to this point.
Still, left hand is a stabilizing force. He's meant a lot to this team since he's come in from Kansas City. 4-time All-Pro player, left end 72. Nice down and yardage call for the Jets and Pat Ryan. First down and 5 in a scoreless game. Art Still.
There's another flag.
Another penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
He was first flushed by Bruce Smith. But there's a flag right at the line of scrimmage. Jets are motioning. It's against the Bills. That's now 6 penalties with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter and an ejection.
And also a starting defender at left corner.
Offside. Defense, number 78, 5-yard penalty. It will be a first down.
Bruce Smith could be going out now, Trump. He's certainly waving out help for him. He's down on one knee.
Art still makes the sack, but you can see Bruce Smith comes up limping right there. 6 penalties in the first quarter and an ejection.
So Buffalo's best player, defensive end Bruce Smith, going off with a very tender ankle. Leon Seals will go in to replace him. So on a day that Buffalo is expecting to celebrate an AFC Eastern championship, they've had one disappointment and one misfire after another. with a series of penalties, 5 of them, now a 6th. And 3 starting players out of the game on defense. Bruce Smith is out. We don't know for how long. Derek Burrows is out. He's been taken to the locker room. And the starting strong safety, Leonard Smith, has gone for the day. An ejection. And certainly it was a very questionable call. But it's history. It's in the books. He's out. Here goes the run now. Johnny Hector breaks into the Bills defense and takes it inside the 15-yard line. Leon Seals made the knockdown as the Jets trap blocking well up front with Sweeney at center, Banker in at left guard, and Haight at right guard.
There's Leonard Smith. He's going into the locker room. His day is finished. Been ejected. He'll join Derek Burrows in there. That was a 13-yard pickup. And the Bills have gotten a little too ridiculous in this first quarter. 6 penalties, an ejection, and 3 starters out.
Gun sounds, and that's it for the first 15 minutes of play as Bruce Smith tries to walk it off, and the Jets will be looking to take it in when we come back.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
The Tandy 1000HX computer is a great family gift. It was sale priced at only $4.99.
And with this color monitor, the system was still less than $7.99.
It's IBM PC compatible and comes with easy-to-use desk-made software.
So the kids can do homework, and we can play Christmas music.
And the $200 savings helps me balance our budget.
Save $200 on the Tandy 1000HX, only $4.99 with software. Complete system less than $7.99. Only at Radio Shack.
It's the trestle of terror, ladies and gentlemen. Chevy versus Ford going over 8-inch high landmines in a test of 4x4 ground clearance. The full-size Chevy clears the mines front and rear. The Ford clears up front, but it's too low in back. In four-wheel drive ground clearance, Chevy beats Ford. No wonder, when it comes to pickups, America's having a change of heart. The heartbeat of America. That's the Dave Service Truck.
Monday on Alf, Willie is Mr. Mom.
How come there's weeds in this salad? It's radicchio. You cooking is radicchio.
And Kate's cooking up a surprise of her own.
I'm gonna have a baby.
And when the Hogans become chimney sweeps, their unusual style lands them on the news.
What's he doing up there? And why isn't he wearing any pants?
Then Rue McClanahan has 4 daughters.
You're all getting married.
And she'll do anything.
We're looking for single men.
To hear him say, I do. Take my daughters, please. It's a great night, Monday.
Thanksgiving Day, the NFL plays here when the Oilers battle the Cowboys.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
How do you spell defense? That's how one group of fans in Buffalo spells it. Defense.
We get the message. We get the message. We understand.
These Jets are an interesting team, though. They do not quit. As Joe Walton says, some weeks we don't play well, but we always play hard, and they're doing that today as Buffalo has been misfiring and coming apart with penalties. And now the Jets are mounted the first challenge of this game for a score as Freeman McNeil again weaves into the Buffalo defense. And on a first down carry, he takes the ball down to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, the one thing you can't do in games like this, of course, is beat yourself. And when you have 6 penalties in the first quarter, very, very misleading. But look at the penalty yards. 6 penalties for 50 yards and an ejection. In this drive, the Jets have gained 59 yards and been the recipient of 25 yards by penalties. The Bills have got to regain their composure here, Don.
Jets, who considered it so important to get up early, trying to get points now. Second down. Running hard is Hector, and he's knocked down on the play. Coming over to get him was outside linebacker Darryl Talley. Talley, who grades out as high as any defensive player on the team in his 6th year from West Virginia. The Bengals on a 51-yard touchdown run by James Brooks out in front of Dallas. We look at the rest of the scoreboard on Sunday, number 12, and of course we'll be updating everything that's happening today at NFL Live at halftime. Interesting story breaking before the game on NFL Live when Giant linebacker Harry Carson, a key part of their great success of 2 years ago and really for the last 12 seasons, said he's so disappointed over being out for 4 weeks with his knee surgery that he might come back next year after announcing his retirement.
Speaking of coming back, Bruce Smith back on the field, Don.
What a stick by Shane Conlon. Nate Odom came also, and so did Bentley. The inside backers, Bentley and Conlon. firing out like bazookas. This guy can play.
He probably doesn't get as much press as the other members of this defense. Certainly Bennett and Smith, they get the most, but Conlon's right there to stand Hector up and nails him, and Pat Leahy on for a field goal, which would be a real moral victory for Buffalo.
But not bad for the Jets to go up first.
Oh, it helps.
Pat Leahy, who's been good for years and years, his 15th season, the 6th all-time score in NFL history. And the field goal attempt, as it usually is with Pat Leahy, is up and good. He's hit on 15 of 19 this season. And the Bills, a substantial underdog, have taken the lead, 3-0.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva?
It's big.
It's small. Sort of a big smallness.
Cutest little thing.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price?
It's small.
Small.
It's nothing.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small, call it yours for only $56.99.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Your man in Washington has come through?
The Americans will be most displeased. Observe. The argon-activated radio-optic laser lights.
Amusing, Boris, but the party demanded Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Where is Boris? He is enjoying a cold one.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Gentlemen, we can do better. After all, life's not black and white.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
I'm just not sure. Why not phone this image to Dr. Wheatley in London?
At AT&T, we've always been committed to helping the people of the world communicate better. It's funny how the future seems to repeat itself.
Good meeting. And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved. And by Denorex Shampoo. Help stop dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine. Denorex.
A defensive meeting on the Buffalo sideline with Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator. As the kickoff now comes downfield, and here comes Rob Riddick returning it for the Bills. The Jets excel on kick coverage. There's a hard strike on Riddick, but he is able to squirm ahead for about the 24-yard line. John Booty, another rookie defensive back, made the stop for the Bills. So for the Jets, as the Bills send their offense out. Jim Kelly. You see his numbers so far today, but that one pickoff when the Bills were down close at the 2-yard line. Hasty went up and came down with the ball. Jets with the first points of the day on the Pat Leahy field goal. Rain has stopped now. Temperatures dropped a bit. Lights are on. Be in the high 30s now. As the Bills now set up at their 24-yard line. Thurman Thomas, who broke those big runs in that first drive, gets ahead for only about 3, and now the referee fires a penalty marker in from behind the play. Scott Mercereau, the nose tackle, made the stop for the Jets.
Face mask Jets. Don, I think the refereeing crew here, knowing the way these two teams feel about each other.
Face mask, defense number 94. It is a 5-yard penalty. We will repeat the down. First down.
I think the officiating crew is trying to get control of this game. They don't want reprisals for Leonard Smith being thrown out. They want to do the best job they possibly can to try to keep things even here and keep tempers under control.
First and 2 with the ball in position now. Free ball. Looks like Thomas might have gotten it back. Thurman Thomas unable to make the connection with Jim Kelly on the handoff.
There was a big hole there too, Don. If he gets through there, he's going to gain 8 to 10 yards.
And a reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
Watch here. There's a nice little spot for him to run up through there. But it looks like Kyle Clifton, 59, just gets his hand on the ball.
Second down, a long two for the Bills. Jets lead at second quarter, 3-0. Mueller, not much there. Jet backers shooting the gap very quickly. Alex Gordon comes in from the left side. Number 55, he was on the play. And so was Fraze, a rookie defensive end from Syracuse, Paul Fraze.
Last weekend, the game against New England on this Jet defense, Benson and Kyle Clifton combined for 35 tackles. Of course, there was an awful lot of running because the rain was so bad. But you see Alex Gordon, the outside linebacker. He's just... Thomas goes right between his legs, and he's there to make the tackle. Here's a third down, Rob Riddick area.
Jets overall play much improved, though, from the previous meeting with the Bills when the floodgates opened early and the Bills scored on their first 5 possessions.
Didn't get it.
Riddick tries to go over the top. Jets think they throw him back. And we'll see what the spot is. That's the all-important as the linesman comes in.
Did not get it. They're going to punt.
Bud Carson cheering his defense. A job well done. So the Bills stall again and have to punt the ball to the Jets as Townsell, #1 punt returner in the AFC, and thinking the NFL at this point of a 12.3 return average is back for the Jets.
Robin Cole, number 90, does a great job there, and that play is stuffed, absolutely stuffed for no gain.
John Kidd hits a beauty, a booming long spiral that drives Townsell all the way back to his 15. He loses the handle. And then the knockdown was made at the 15-yard line. Jet helmet went flying off, and 2 people are swinging. School's out now.
And there's somebody in there without a helmet.
And a Bill is down in great pain at the 18-yard line. Ronnie Harmon. Might not be. A 51-yard punt. Steve Tasker. He's an important player. He went to the Pro Bowl as the AFC Special Teams Pro Bowl player. Steve Tasker.
The fight starts away from this tackle. There's Tasker right down at the bottom there.
So on the day the Bills thought they were going to wrap it up, they're in a war.
A performance you won't forget. Ford Probe GT.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Before you even touch this camera, you're going to want to own it. The incredible 35mm Infinity Super Zoom 300. New from Olympus.
It started a car deserted on a frozen lake for 4 months, and 40 cars after 2.5 hours with their lights left on. Today's Die Hard, America's #1 replacement battery, with power to start your car, and a whole lot more.
In all the world, no one watches TV, loves TV, or is more critical of TV than Americans. So it's not surprising that in a nation of experts, the television of choice comes from the people with nothing less than the most ingenious technology in the industry, RCA. Just one reason more Americans buy RCA video equipment than any other. RCA, #1, with the toughest critics in the world.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here. The Bills' Jim Kelly goes eye-to-eye with the Bengals' Boomer Esiason in a shootout between the top 2 powerhouses of the AFC. Or it's a must-win game for 2 playoff hopefuls when the Browns head to the nation's capital to battle the Redskins. Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Pro Bowl special teamer Steve Tasker appears to be all right. Banged up on covering the kick. Now the Jets come out of the huddle with a 3-0 lead. Deep in their own end now. They're starting inside their 15-yard line. Roger Vick, big and fast. The #1 pick of 2 years ago out of Texas A&M breaks it ahead. And he's got an 11-yard gain in the first touchdown for the Jets. Bentley was on a tackle with White Drain. Bengals look like they're heading to another victory today.
AFC Central is winning, with the exception of Pittsburgh.
Chicago Bears, the only team that beat the Bills, 21-3, up on Tampa Bay. Bears beat the Bills 24-3 early in the season. Back to the run. Again they go to Roger Vick, and Darrell Taylor got him, number 56. Game clock down to 9:10 to play in the first half, and it's still a 3-0 game Jets. Bills are the thinking, Trump, that the pass rush with quarterback hurries is sometimes more productive than quarterback sack. That was an evidence Monday night when Dan Marino was not sacked, but he was hurried all night and threw 3 interceptions.
But it's certainly no factor to this point in the game. Jets offensive line have done an outstanding job of getting Pat Ryan time to throw.
Ryan with a quick deep drop over the middle to Mickey Schuler. And Schuler's out across the 40, and he has a jet first down to the 43-yard line. Mickey Schuler didn't play in that October game against the Bills, but in his last 5 games against the Bills, he has scored a touchdown in every game.
Now, one of the factors that the Bills now have to deal with, this is the way they started this game with defensive backs. And now with injury and also an ejection, you got Drain and Davis playing, and the Jets are going to, you can bet, they'll try to exploit that for the rest of the day. We've not heard about Derek Burrows returning. Well, we certainly know that Leonard Smith won't. He was the one ejected. So now the Jets have some self-confidence here.
They have played very well, the Jets. Leading 3-0. Ryan with a play fake and a deep drop, and there's a throw downfield, and Cornelius Bennett was right there on the intended receiver, Johnny Hector, out of the backfield, as you see Ryan getting up after the throw. Cornelius Bennett, there's one thing that stands out about him more than any other. It's just his sheer speed.
He's at the line of scrimmage, almost faking the blitz, and then drops back in coverage. He is stride for stride with Johnny Hector. Cuts underneath. Able to just get the ball away. Ryan now 4 of 8 for 71. And that time, Bruce Smith got to Pat Ryan, put him on his keister. Didn't sack him, but at least it's one of those hurries you were talking about, Don.
And that brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Jets. 7:45 to play first half. The Jets lead the game 3-0. McNeil, who ran well early, now shut down. It's going to be 3rd and long for New York. Bentley, 50 off the bottom of the pile. He's a free agent, inside linebacker from Central Michigan.
Last time we saw Cornelius Bennett drop back in coverage, Bentley made that tackle, but watch Bennett here. He's down. He's over the tight end. Gets inside the tight end. And makes the initial hit on the tackle. Times it looks like there's 15 Buffalo Bills playing defense out there, not 11.
Bills defense tightening up on this drive as Pat Ryan sets in the shotgun. Back at his 40. You see 3rd down and 8. Comes the rush on a stunt. Cornelius Bennett double team. Long ball. Altoon has it and loses it at the 29-yard line. What a perfect throw. But the defenders were there harassing Altoon. He couldn't hold on. That's Nate Odom, the 3rd-year corner out of Wisconsin.
I'm not exactly sure why Nate Odom is celebrating, though. But that ball got to Altoon. Altoon, of course, at 6'4". Very long arms. This ball, look, he just drops it. I'm not sure Nate Odom has anything to do with that whatsoever, but it's an incomplete pass, and that's a reason to celebrate.
Prokop hunts it downfield. Johnson's back deep. Slick Johnson is down at the 14-yard line, just missing a missile. Marion Barber was the Jet who shot in there. 41-yard punt, no return. We'll be back to Orchard Park in a moment.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime. And we think you should make the best of it. The Braun Shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
Nature's light. Bathing fields of grain. Enriching full, fresh hops. Giving life to sparkling streams. Nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
When I'm fighting dandruff, I want all the help I can get. So now I'm using new extra-strength Denerex with 39% more dandruff medicine. For my dandruff and itch, there's 39% more medicine in new extra-strength Denerex. For great-looking hair, I can't get too much of a good thing.
Learning how to talk fast is one way to save on international calls. U.S. Sprint's international long-distance sale is a better way. Save as much as 10 to 34% if you call now and switch.
America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
We've seen Bennett in coverage, stopping the run. And here on the pass rush, you see Mickey Schuler and Johnny Hector both trying to keep Cornelius Bennett off of Pat Ryan. They do a good job, even though they may have grabbed the jersey a little.
Back to live action, long ball down to Andre Riva. The connection is not made as running in pursuit with Bobby Humphrey. Jim Kelly letting the long ball fly with 6:35 to play in the first half. Humphrey in a foot race with Andre Reed as Kelly tries to burn the Jets on a first down throw.
Bobby Humphrey, a former wide receiver. I kind of get the feeling here a little bit that the Bills need a certain amount of desperation here, you know, going with that up top throw. This is a very high percentage offense they generally run. Now 2nd and 10, you're almost committed to either throw a screen or a draw or throw the ball for the next 2 downs.
Bills drove on the Jets early in the game, got down close, then Kelly lofted a soft pass that Hasty picked up to start the drive. Kelly on 2nd and 10. Throwing a catch to Metzlars, his tight end, who's out to the 22-yard line. He'll be short of first down, gain of close to 8. Again,
that's an incomplete pass.
That's it. He lost it on the way down there.
Yeah, they're not giving it to him.
So with 6:30 left to go, it's 3rd down and 10 coming up. That 3rd down and 2. Kelly so far has thrown the ball 7 times, completed 3 for 21 yards. You'll recall that his first 3 throws were completions. He's 0 for 4 since now.
This time, good pressure that time by Gerald Nichols right in Kelly's face.
Kelly on 3rd and 10 stands in, and he runs right into trouble and somehow bails out. Now lets her fly, makes a connection that was not going to be close to a first down anyway as Riddick lost the ball going out of bounds. And so the Bills now have to punt the ball from deep in their own end, and the Jets should get very good field position.
Jets with great pass rush on Jim Kelly made him flush out of the pocket a little bit, and he was looking around for a receiver, and great coverage down the field. So far, the Jets have played very, very well. Buffalo's kind of shot themselves in the foot with all those penalties in the first quarter, giving the Jets a feeling that, hey, we can win this game.
JoJo Townsell, who's been the best, returning punts, is dropping back deep now. Kurt Sohn is with him. John Kidd standing a yard deep in his end zone. Will hit it about the 4. Jets set up a return and an end-over-end punt. And Townsell looks to run out of trouble. Starting and stopping, and finally he's knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Buffalo. But a plus field position start for the Jets as they start on the Buffalo side after a punt of just 34 yards by John Kidd. 6:10 to play, first half, and it's a 3-0 game Jets. As Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett come back on the field with the Bills defense. Cornelius Bennett got maybe the highest recommendation you could get when Ray Perkins, who coached him at Alabama, said he's the most dominant defensive player I've ever coached. And he coached Cornelius Bennett after he coached Lawrence Taylor at the Giants. When Bennett was in high school, after one playoff game, the opposing coach said, where's he going to college? To Bennett's coach. Coach said he's got another year to play. He said, not against us. The other team dropped him from their schedule.
That's impressive.
Breaking it open is Johnny Hector, who shot out of a pile of tacklers and rips it ahead for a Jet first down. This time they go off the right side. A 12-yard gain.
And the Jets are continuing to run right side. Now that's the side where Art still is. 72. You see him standing up. And also at Cornelius Bennett. There's a huge hole there for Hector to get through. Great job of blocking by that Jets offensive line. Nice 12-yard pickup.
The offensive line coach of the Jets. They've really been taking it to the best defensive front in football at this moment. But it has not been today, as this time Freeman McNeil gets the call for the Jets. And on a 1st and 10 play, he's inside the 30 for a gain of 7 yards before he's knocked down by Cornelius Bennett.
Todd, you can see the defensive line of the Bills standing there with kind of hands on hips. Bruce Smith saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? Last week we held the Miami Dolphins to just 33 yards rushing. The Jets are blowing holes wide open in that defense.
Rain starts to fall again. And Ryan back to the run. This time Darryl Kelly makes the play and a penalty marker's down.
It's against the Jets. Bills had 6 penalties in the first quarter.
Holding. Offense. Number 63. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Ted Banker.
I tell you, this offensive line has really tightened up because Banker's back in the lineup after missing 4 weeks.
Banker playing left guard. He's on Smurless, and he just grabs him around the leg. And the umpire catches him. That was pretty easy, so that makes it 2nd and 13.
Clock running in the second quarter. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half. 3-0 Jets. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Rich Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. As Ryan is a problem, and that will be a sack back at the 48-yard line.
That was a rollout. And Bennett
rolled right into Cornelius.
Absolutely. There is a real roadblock for any rollout. First sack of the day by the Bills. This is a designed rollout. He's going to go screen left. When he turns around, Bennett's standing right there. Whoop, breaks. Let's do something else. Nope. Get down there. Smurless comes in late.
Bennett, part of the trade, the Halloween trade of a year ago that made 3 teams appreciably better. Dickerson to the Colts, Cornelius Bennett comes to Buffalo as they got those signing rights to him from Indianapolis, and the Rams got all those draft choices, and 3 teams that have had a lot of problems in recent years are heading possibly to the playoffs. Certainly Buffalo is. But Bennett, Art still now goes after Ryan. Look at that throw. Pat Ryan doing well to get rid of it on the run. As they call him in Buffalo, Art still crazy after all these years. He's a free spirit and a great team leader. Marv Levy said what he's meant to us is just unbelievable.
You know, he weighs about 255 pounds, Art still does. In fact, at one time he went on this exotic diet in Kansas City, Art still did, 72. Got down to about 235 or 40 pounds, could not play. Takes very good care of himself.
Marv Levy said he absolutely a mistake-free football coach. Never seen a guy that makes the play every time, is absolutely never out of position. Cliff Johnson back deep. Bills put on the rush, but Kickoff delivers a very high punt. And the Jet coverers are down there, and they'll down the ball at about the 9-yard line. Ball was just tossed to the 9, actually down. They're going to rule. We'll see where they place it. Looks like the lineman's going to come in at about the 9. That's where it'll be. A 37-yard punt. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, stay tuned for the second half of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Broncos go against the Saints in a very important game for 2 playoff hopefuls, plus regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Don, the thing that you notice most now in this second quarter is that the Buffalo Bills have had very, very poor field position, so the Jets have won that part of the battle so far.
surely have. Kelly went long on a first and 10 from down here. Now he goes to Thurman Thomas, and he's going to break it for a big gain. Thomas looks to have 10 yards and quite possibly a first down. Stopping the clock with 3:21 to play in the first half.
Eric McMillan makes the tackle. I haven't heard his name much. That was 9 or 10 yards on the game. It might be close enough for a measurement.
Joe Brown from the NFL office here saying that the NFL is probably going to have an all-time attendance record this year, 69th year of the league. And it's due largely measured to Buffalo. 7 home games, 7 sellouts, 80,000. They'll have 80,000 for their final home game against the Raiders on December 12th. Thurman Thomas breaks it again. He's out across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. So the Bills go back to what carried them downfield early, and that's the running game with the rookie Thurman Thomas carrying. And now they break some big gains at 12-yarder. 3:05 to play first half.
Again, a great job by the offensive line. Metzelar's 88, the tight end. Vogler, 65, pulls out front. Jamie Mueller, 39, leads. Thomas has surprising foot speed. He makes a lot of people miss just because they don't guess where he's going to be properly.
He's doing well now front. 8 carries, 64 yards, and he's on his way again. As Thurman Thomas is ahead for about 2 yards. Good defense. Rich Miano, the strong safety, came up and made the play for the Jets, number 36.
With 2:32 to go in the first half, though, the Bills are going to have to throw this football. They got to use this clock very wisely. They have just 2 timeouts left. Ronnie Harmon comes in the ball game. There's the clock ticking down to the 2-minute warning. They got to throw here.
NFL Live at halftime. As right now, Jim Kelly dumps one over the middle to Andre Reed, running in the open field for the moment, and he's knocked down by Hasty. Andre Reed is ahead for very close to first down yardage. On a 2nd and 9 play, he got about 8, maybe more, as we look for the spot. Now the 2-minute warning is given.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence, become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
The handsome, dashing Ford Aerostar for $19.89. It's really quite a van about town. Traveling with the sports crowd. Playing the market. Escorting ladies. Pulling its own weight. Staying out all night. And powering its way to the top. Ford Aerostar. It's in a class by itself.
Now get a $500 cash bonus on Ford Aerostar.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
When you come to Radio Shack's Christmas sale for electronic gifts, buy this dual-powered calculator first for just $8.88 and keep track of the money you save.
Like these realistic face reflex speakers, half price at $39.95 each.
Add this cordless phone to $20 savings, only $59.95.
And count on these LCD games for stocking stuffers, just $8.95 each.
That adds up to holiday savings.
The Christmas electronics sale, only at Radio Shack.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here. The Bills' Jim Kelly goes eye-to-eye with the Bengals' Boomer Esiason in a shootout between the top 2 powerhouses of the AFC.
Or it's a must-win game for 2 playoff hopefuls when the Browns head to the nation's capital to battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Burrow's back on the sideline. He's got a mouthpiece, and he's not having much luck talking, but watch what happens. He hits his head right on the knee of Freeman McNeil. That was in the first quarter. He's been out since. He had an x-ray. There was a dentist in there. We do not know what the injury is, but here's a big down, 3rd and short.
Byram's into block. Riddick's in to run. On 3rd and less than a yard, Rob Riddick behind Byram, and he forces himself ahead for the first down. Byram, who played at Mississippi Valley with Jerry Rice of the 49ers, is a 240-pound fullback, and when he hits anybody, the surge is the other way. And that time, Riddick fouled him over for the first down.
Jets are now taking a timeout. They changed their short yardage defense, and they were afraid the Bills were going to snap the ball with 10 guys on the field. So the Jets take a timeout.
Monday on Alp, Willie is Mr. Bob.
How come there's weeds in this salad? It's radicchio. You cooking is radicchio.
And Kate's cooking up a surprise of her own.
I'm gonna have a baby.
And when the Hogans become chimney sweeps, their unusual style lands them on the news.
What's he doing up there? And why isn't he wearing any pants?
Then Rue McClanahan has 4 daughters.
You're all getting married.
And she'll do anything.
We're looking for single men.
To hear him say, I do. Take my daughters, please. It's a great night, Monday.
Still a 3-0 game. The Jets leading the favored Buffalo Bills here at Orchard Park, New York. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. That football celebration they're planning for Buffalo on delay right now.
Yeah, Jets doing a big hand to hold back that celebration as best they possibly can. Jets have played very well, and I think the Bills can best be described as playing with pressure. Knowing that they can win the division today, they have not really performed very well, either offensively or defensively.
Kelly out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. He looks, he throws, he's got a man. Andre Reed coming back at the ball, and he's running in the open field. Andre Reed inside the 30-yard line. With 1 minute and 28 seconds to play, Andre Reed takes it down to the 28.
You know, Andre Reed doesn't get a great deal of attention, but he, Al Toon, and Eddie Brown, along with Jerry Rice, all came from the same draft in 1985. That's a 27-yard pickup. Big play for Buffalo. Norwood's ready on the sideline. The Bills would prefer to have a touchdown.
Bills still with no points. Here's a throw, and Harmon can't hold on at the 17-yard line. Nice defense by Kyle Howard. Number 28, a free agent defensive back from Rutgers who helped free the ball. Incomplete pass, as you see, stops the clock with 1:04 to play half.
There have been Buffalo Bill receivers open, but I'll tell you, the defensive backs of the Jets are hanging all over him. Very, very close in coverage. That time, Carl Howard right there. Make sure that the ball is not delivered perfectly. He can make the interception. 6 DBs in the game for the New York Jets, Don.
Pass routes looking to come. Here they come with a blitz that they pick up, and Kelly on a sprint out throws into coverage, and somehow it is not picked off, but the receiver is split from the ball as Eric McMillan taunts. He's warned. No flag.
Bobby Humphrey knocked that ball away. You'll see that the pass go right over the middle again. Good initial coverage. Humphrey knocks it away, and then McMillan really hits the receiver and hits him hard. That's Andre Reed. And that's a little too much celebrating.
But no flag. Buffalo coaches still livid over losing a starting defensive back after they made a tackle on the sidelines. The violence of it we could not determine. It seemed like a regular throw out of bounds, but Leonard Smith was gone for the day. Now on 3rd and 10, Kelly goes to the run. Rob Riddick throws to Kelly. Kelly catches the ball. Jim Kelly's down to the 24-yard line. So the Bills delve into their bag of tricks. That's an old Southern California play. They've used that often. Notre Dame used to use it with Theismann. He's gotten a lot of yards over the years in college games. Now the Bills will let things tick on down as you look again on the replay.
Jets had it well diagnosed. Look at the players out there. You can see people. James Hasty, 40, is right there. It looks like finally Alex Gordon makes the tackle.
Bills setting up at their leisure. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Kenneth Edmondson. Our director, Ted Nathanson. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. As with 7 seconds left in the first half, the Bills let the clock tick down. They'll soon call a timeout. Now with 7 seconds they do. And they'll try a field goal, which, if good, would tie this game at 3. Norwood has been most effective. A free agent out of James Madison in his 4th year. He has hit 25 of 29 field goals this year.
He's also 6 of 8 from this distance. This is no chip shot. Looks like they're going to put it down at the 32. And you add 10 yards, a 42-yard attempt. He's 6 of 8 from 40 to 49.
The punter, John Kidd's, is hold, as you pointed out earlier, Trump. Wind, which can often be a factor in November here in western New York, is not coming into play much today. Flags aren't grayed out, as they often are. Jets top the goalpost.
Jets trying to ice Norwood here. They call another timeout. Let Kid think about it. I think they're also wondering if they might run a trick play. Marty Lyons, Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach, he's saying, watch out for this. I got to tell you, Don, I'm surprised that only 3 points have been scored in this game.
I think the Bills are, too.
It's a great shock, I think, to both teams. I think the Jets thought that they could score a lot more points, and the Bills obviously thought they could score a lot more points.
Bengals continue to lead the Cowboys. Houston still up on Phoenix as those three teams vying for the AFC Central crown, the Cleveland Browns included. The big lead at the half over Pittsburgh. And at halftime, we'll be going to NFL Live for reports on all the big plays on Sunday number 12. As a penalty marker goes down, now let's see what this is. It might be a delay of game call.
No, there's time on the clock. This is movement by the Buffalo Bills.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Howard Ballard. Boy, the Buffalo Bills have been their own worst enemy today. Penalties, dumb ones. The interception thrown by Jim Kelly. I thought he was trying to do too much, and now this penalty takes it back. This is a 44-yard attempt now.
You pointed out Norwood 6 of 8 from between the 40 and the 49.
This is a tough kick. That's enough. Oh, hit the crossbar.
A game of inches. It hits the crossbar and comes back, and the Jets will hold their lead with a second left to go.
I wonder how
first half.
I wonder how Ballard feels right now with the 5-yard penalty. It takes away 3 points. He hits it good. This ball seems to hang when it gets up in the air. There it looks like he's got enough leg. See, they're celebrating behind him. Watch it. Hits the crossbar perfectly. Bounces right back into the end zone.
Trick shot, but not the way he wanted it. And so the Jets will go to the locker room with a 3-0 halftime lead against a team that routed them at Giant Stadium the last time they played, 37-14. Marv Levy says of Howard Baylor, who weighs 315 pounds, he can't get much below that. But you couldn't get him to 290. He's a solid 315.
Wouldn't you think he could stay on sides, though? If he could have, they would have had a tie score.
So the underdog Jets very much in the game. In fact, in the lead. 3-0 as we go to halftime. The field goal by Pat Leahy in the second quarter was the difference in the game so far. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
It's been 6 years. 6 years since the Fury. 6 years since David Banner was pushed too far. Now they've stolen his woman and ruined his career. This time they've really gotten under his skin.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
He's mean, green, and pumped up for his greatest challenge ever. Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno in The Incredible Hulk returns Friday.
Hey, who's wearing a cheap cologne?
Smooth, cold-aged Genesee. It's not just a beer, it's a Jenny.
Your good neighbor Chevy dealers payload payout is Chevynomics in action. Forget about the old-fashioned Ford and save up to $2,200 on a full-size Chevy. Well, check out this S-Blazer 4x4 or this S10 pickup, and you can save up to $2,400 on either one. With a huge selection and tremendous savings, you'll never get more truck for less money. Right now during Chevy's payload payout at your good neighbor Chevy dealer. You'll never get more truck for less money.
Join me, Scott Brown, for JFK Remembered tomorrow, first at 5.
We welcome those of you watching the games in Buffalo and Kansas City. Bob Costas along with Ahmad Rashad and Gail Gardner. Let's start as we review the scores with that game in Buffalo. The Jets, in a certain sense, are beating the Bills at their own game in a tough defensive struggle on a Pat Leahy field goal. 3-0 Jets.
Jets are playing extremely well. Pat Ryan, in particular, is very, very sharp. But I know what happened in this game. They went in this game saying, Buffalo says all they need to do is to beat us. They clinch the division. Their battle cry was they're not going to beat us here. They played well the first half, but it seems to me that Buffalo is just now getting up to stuff. So I think that in the second half, it's going to be awful tough on the Jets. I expect the Bills to come back.
All right, Cincinnati is playing at Dallas. The Bengals come in with a record of 8-3. Dallas has lost 7 in a row. They're 2-9, and Cincinnati with the lead, 17-3. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Their lowlights as far as Tom Landry is concerned, and his team has a tough schedule the rest of the way. It's possible, not meaning to be harsh, but possible they might not win again in 1988. Here's James Brooks, who's having a big season for the Bengals, averaging around 5.5 yards a carry, and that average is boosted by this 51-yard scoring run in the first quarter, 7-0 Bengals. Now in the second, Esiason off the play action fake, hits the veteran tight end Rodney Holman, 20 yards and a touchdown. Esiason had been shut out in terms of touchdown passes 3 of the last 4 weeks. He rectifies that with the scoring throw to Holman, and he is the #1 rated quarterback in the AFC. Cincinnati leads it 17-3. Phoenix playing at Houston, and the Oilers just scored again. Warren Moon's having a big first half, well over 200 yards passing already. The Oilers, in a battle of 7 and 4 teams, leading 24-7 near the end of the first half at the Astrodome. Cliff Stout is at quarterback for the Cardinals with Neil Lomax hurt. Stout has had a slow start, although he did throw a 52-yard touchdown pass to Robert Awol. Elsewhere, Cleveland and Pittsburgh in a quagmire. In Cleveland, the Browns lead at 17-7. Now, all season long, Chuck Noll's team has had difficulty getting off a simple punt. That difficulty is compounded in the rain today. Watch what happens early on in the game. This ball is snapped over the head of Harry Newsom, their punter. Just about everybody has a shot at the ball, and eventually Will the Thrill Hill of the Browns comes up with it. It leads to a Bernie Kosar touchdown pass, and at that point it was 10-0. It became 17-0 when Newsom tried to punt again. Stephen Braggs moves in, takes a tough shot in the midsection, but that's what he's paid to do on special teams. It bounces into the arms of number 31, Frank Minifield, who runs it in for a touchdown. That was the 6th punt that Pittsburgh has had blocked against them this year. It's a dubious NFL record. The Bears are playing at Tampa Bay, and they're having their own way on the Bucs home field. 21-6 is the score. Tom Zach has thrown a 40-yard touchdown pass to Brad Muster. Neil Anderson has a 1-yard and a 17-yard touchdown run. Vinny Testaverde was intercepted on the Bucs' first possession. 27th time this year he's been picked off. It's the highest figure in the league. Minnesota leads at home against Indianapolis on 2 Chuck Nelson field goals. 6-0 is the score. It's been 2 years since the Vikes have allowed a 100-yard rushing performance against them. Eric Dickerson has 55 yards on 14 carries in the first half for Indy. Kansas City has just gone to halftime at home with a lead over Seattle. Now, a week ago, they came from behind and upset Cincinnati, and they're leading the 6-5 Seahawks 14-7. Gail?
Well, one thing they've been able to do, Bob, that they haven't really all year is put the ball in the end zone via the ground. 2 rushing touchdowns all year till today, both your touchdowns on the ground. The other thing, from the other point of view, is that Dave Craig has not had good games against Kansas City. Today, he is playing well, but they have not been able to run.
It's Detroit Lion head coach Wayne Font's debut, at least as the interim man, taking over for the fired Darryl Rogers. And on 3 Eddie Murray field goals, the Lions lead at Milwaukee County Stadium over the Packers, 9-0 at halftime. Both clubs come into this one with a record of 2-9. Stand by. Frank DeFord will be here next with his halftime commentary, and we'll do that following these messages from your local stations.
Can you look into the camera and tell them to watch the Comedy Store reunion?
Comedy Store.
Rolling or rolling back?
15-year class reunion. Only.
What the hell is he saying? This is not a series.
What? It's not even a mini-series where they do like 3 or 4.
What's it called again? Wait a minute.
It is so fabulous.
No, this is just one night.
9 o'clock or something?
Comedy Store, no. Reunion.
Okay, I can do it shorter.
This year at your Dodge dealer, we're more committed to you than ever. It's the new spirit of Dodge, and it shows in our commitment to bring you the world's best, like our imported Dodge Colt and Ram 50 pickup, both backed by our 336 bumper-to-bumper warranty, and now both with $500 cash back. Join us in our commitment to quality and service. It all comes together here at your Dodge dealer, where the new spirit shows.
See your nearby Team Dodge dealer.
1-900. Are you hooked? Phone hang-ups. Tuesday on News Center 2 Nightside.
We reach that point in the proceedings where we say hello to Frank DeFord. Normally his commentary would deal with football, but we give him wide editorial leeway. And what's caught his interest this week is the filling of the last remaining managerial openings in baseball. There were a half-dozen jobs up for grabs since the end of the '88 season. Now they've all been filled, and none of them by a minority candidate.
No, Bob, as a matter of fact, in the year and a half since Sal Campanis unwittingly revealed to America how racially backward baseball could be, there have altogether been 21 managerial openings, and only one went to a black. And Frank Robinson was invited to take over a team that literally couldn't win a game. Blacks not only get so few opportunities, but they certainly don't get the plum jobs. Back in August of '87, Hal McRae of the Kansas City Royals became one of a handful of black men to be offered a managerial job, the interim chief of the Royals for the balance of that season. He felt it best to turn the job down, and today I asked Hal, who is now a minor league batting coach with the Pirates, if he harbored any second thoughts about that decision.
No, not really. I wouldn't take a job under those circumstances if it was offered to me again. My decision was final. I'm happy doing what I'm doing now. I'm the minor league hitting instructor for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm very happy in that capacity, and I live at home now, and I work out of the house. So, you know, I'm very happy with my decision and my job.
Hal, do you and other blacks think that baseball is abjectly racial, straight out racial, or is perhaps it more benignly so? A situation where the old boy network applies, and the teams, the general managers and owners only hire people that they're familiar with?
Well, I think the owners have a tendency to hire people they're comfortable with, but then when you have a racism in society, then naturally you're going to have it in baseball and professional sports.
You know, Bob, Hal's son Brian is a terrific prospect, AA in the Royal system, and we talked about how any young black player is just naturally bound to play happier and with more pride if his organization is one that hires and promotes blacks in managerial positions. The irony of not hiring black managers and coaches is that it isn't just backward, it isn't just immoral, it's stupid, it's bad business.
You know, Frank, this is an issue so easily misunderstood, and there are a lot of people out there watching who think that anytime this subject comes up, that the call is going out for some kind of quota or affirmative action program. There can be reasonable disagreement about the appropriateness and effectiveness of such programs. Some people believe in them. Others, who are not necessarily racist, have difficulty with it. But you need not apply some kind of quota system to remedy this situation.